Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Four of Pentacles. This is very stable energy. It's not permanent energy, okay? And I feel like you are, you're in this kind of temporary stability, and maybe we're hoping to hang on to it for a while. But I feel like when we get this card, it's kind of an indication that change is coming, okay? And so anytime that things are stopped, we need to start preparing for when they're moving again. Anytime we get a 4, we need to start gearing up for the 5 because it's coming next. But I think you're somebody who is, you thrive on change. I think you do very well with change. You like to you like to know when it's coming. It's kind of like you like surprises, but only if someone tells you about them before, you know? You like to be able to prepare to be surprised. The 4 of Pentacles is also saying that you have a focus right now on financial stability. This is the card of health and wealth, fitness and finances. It's safety, security, and stability. And I think this is what we really are hoping for. This is what we're working toward. I think this is what you are establishing. This is a card of a very solid foundation. Okay, so I think that you're in a very good place right now. And I feel like things have finally kind of calmed down for you a little bit. But when things are calm, that's when we need to start getting ready, right? So we're going to put another card on top of this and see what it is we're preparing for. Yeah, see, there we go. There's the Eon, Judgment, Rebirth, Reawakening. This is a big change. This is kind of a new doorway is opening for you. It's kind of like you just got in the house, you put your stuff down, you sat down to relax, you got your feet up, you're about to take off your shoes, and then somebody calls and says, hey, I've got this amazing opportunity. Like, come over to my house right now, you know? And, well, I thought I was going to get to relax and watch some YouTube, but here I go right out the door again. I feel like this is kind of a welcomed thing, though. You know, we want the stability, we want this solid energy, and it kind of like, to me, feels as if this stability that you have in your life right now is the reason why this opportunity is showing up. This is a big fiery doorway in the future, right there in your living room, right? And we have these stable kind of walls, and we're just, this is good, right? And then this is something that's saying, are you ready to transcend, right? Are you ready to go to the very next level now? So I guess there's probably a little bit of time that you can wait if you want to relax, catch your breath, have something to eat real quick, and then right back to work with this card, you know. I feel like there's also something going on with your mouth. You have a tooth or something that's been bothering you. I don't know which side. But there's some sort of a dental thing going on with you. So the 4 of Pentacles would be kind of talking about that, how we're kind of looking to get things stabilized, get things fixed, get things just in a good spot so we can use this as a springboard into the future. We get the foundation set up first. Then we can start really cooking, you know. You get the technique down first. You get things really, it's kind of like, well, it's a foundation, like on a house or something, right? You lay the foundation first. And from there, it's like, let's get crazy. Let's build the house, you know. Let's start building upward, which is kind of what I feel with this card. That in some way, we're now in a good spot. The universe is saying, okay, time to level up again. Things like kind of just got settled for you, you know. And maybe in a very practical way. Maybe the two things, something you just got fixed, right? Maybe the car just got out of the shop. It just got repaired. And now it's like, amazing road trip. Let's go. Let's do it. Here's this opportunity, this big fiery doorway that I think is going to change your future. Okay. Let's keep going. I'm very intrigued by this energy. Yeah, this is abrupt. This is kind of shocking news to you, right? This is kind of like, wait, what? I just got in the door. I just set my keys down, and now suddenly there is this call to action for this big opportunity, this life-changing moment that's just about to happen. Well, there's part of you that just says, no way. I already put my key. I already took my shoes off. I'm not going anywhere. It's like me. As soon as I get home from anywhere, clothes come off. I got my pajamas on. Once I got my robe back on, you've seen pictures of me in my robe, I'm sure. My wife likes to take those pictures of me. And once I got my robe on, that's it. I'm not leaving the house again. And I kind of feel like this, but this is something that we're just kind of putting our clothes. This is something for which we are going to get dressed again and get up and go do. Okay? And we've got this Knight of Wands underneath everything. And I think in a way, Libra, you kind of thrive on this. You kind of love this really exciting energy. As much as we want the stability, we know that the stability here is just a home base for us to go and have these amazing experiences. Let's see what's behind us. There's that Seven of Pentacles. So there's the toothache. There's the instability. Okay? This was something that wasn't so certain. But now we got it stable. See, this is a Seven of Pentacles. It's movement. It's things changing. I think what this here is, with things starting to improve, things were starting to get better. Now you're in a really good spot. Now there's this major, I think, critical call to action for you to move forward or to level up or somehow go through this doorway, which seems to me it's a doorway that's closing the door on that. So that maybe this is a financial freedom kind of thing where you're not going to have to experience the Seven of Pentacles again, right? The Seven of Pentacles card, it's called failure. The way I look at it is this is all those times where things didn't quite work out. So this is, I don't believe in failure. I think it's a prototype for success, right? These were all the learning experiences where things maybe grew halfway. They started to work and then something happened. It's all those experiments we do in life that don't quite work out, but we need to keep doing them. That's how we're learning, right? That's how we're gaining the experience. So we have to go through those things. That's what brings you this kind of solid stability with this Four of Pentacles, is going through all of those iterations of something that didn't work out. So in some ways, this is the best card. In some instances anyway, because this is the card of us making mistakes and learning from them and progressing forward. I've made that mistake. I don't need to do it again, right? Until we get something that's absolutely perfect. And I think we're in one of these kind of transitional stages. So I feel like this is, if anything, this is you achieving a new baseline, and maybe this is something physical, financial, or maybe related to your health and wellness, your fitness, your well-being, right? Maybe this is that kind of incremental progress, and now Spirit is saying, okay, it's time to level up for good, to where we're going to be completely done with the incomplete success, let's call it, right? Let's do another card at the top. We've got a Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords versus the Knight of Wands, right? And this is Mars in Gemini. This is full-on Aries energy, right? So this is something here. The Nine of Swords is something that talks a big game, talks itself up, really has again, Mars in Gemini, right? So it's a lot of words, right? But this is the card of action. This is the card that is just doing it, right? Talks a big game, actually follows through with things. And so this is kind of, this is a message, I think, for you. It's at the top here. So I feel like this is something that we sometimes have to do, for ourselves. I think, now, obviously, I'm trying to figure out a way to phrase this in a nice way. Sometimes we tend to talk about it a lot as a substitute for just doing the thing, you know. And I don't feel that this is you, but I feel like you understand what I mean. This is someone who, I don't want to offend anybody. This is, you know, someone that instead of taking action, they might just kind of analyze something and criticize something and tear something apart, and really, you know, maybe it's you getting down on yourself rather than just kind of making the next move, saying, okay, that didn't work. Well, here's an opportunity for me to level it up further and make further progress. Well, I'm just going to get up and go do it. This is kind of like, this is us like, you know, with a very negative internal dialogue saying, God, I'm so stupid. How could I have made that mistake? Why did I do that? And, you know, I should have done this and that. And really that's burning up a lot of energy. This is an unkindness to yourself. Okay. And so we don't need that. Right? But I feel like this is at the top of the path of the dove, because this is something that you might catch yourself doing. Okay. You know, you crack a tooth on a, I don't even know, a seed or something, right? And this is us just getting just absolutely mad about it, and we're just railing against ourselves. A lot of negative self-talk here, rather than just saying, okay, I got to get up and go to the dentist and get it fixed, you know, right quick, or whatever we do, right? The Nine of Swords reminds us to be kind to ourselves, because we all have a tendency, and maybe this tendency is a little bit amplified in you right now, or has been. But this is the card where, you know, when we make a mistake, when we don't quite succeed at something, how do we deal with that? How do we talk to ourselves? I heard a very interesting methodology on a podcast that I sometimes listen to. And they were saying that, you know, the next time you don't succeed at something, the next time you make a mistake, I mean, the next time you drop a glass in the kitchen or something, and, you know, something like that, right? Where you make a mistake, or you fail at something, or you don't quite succeed at something. Get out your phone or a tape recorder and turn it on. Record yourself. And maybe you record yourself kind of just saying what you would normally say to yourself in that situation, right? Or, I guess, do both. Talk to yourself and record it as if you were talking to your best friend or your favorite family member, you know, your favorite grandparent or something. Yeah, I feel like you would talk to your friend or your family member a lot differently than the way we sometimes talk to ourselves. And it's I've tried that. It's a very interesting experiment, you know. And we really see how we tend to express a lot of the negative. We just kind of let all that negative stuff through, just stream of consciousness negativity when it's just us. But to somebody else, we tend to be a little bit more delicate, a little bit more constructive, a little bit more compassionate and helpful, and, you know, and we need to start doing that for ourselves too. Okay, so the fact that this card is showing up is saying that there's something connected here that you need to think about that, or you need to at least be aware that could be happening. Okay. Meanwhile, Spirit has this very fiery doorway of opportunity, and let's see what the future position is. An Ace of Pentacles. So this could be literally a new source of income. It could be a new money-making opportunity. This could be the next great thing in terms of your well-being, or your fitness, or your self-care kind of thing, right? It's a way for us to take the stability we have now, and guess what? Remember I said at the very beginning that anytime we get a 4, we got to prepare for the 5? Well, 4 plus Ace is that 5. So that's exactly what we're getting, right? And you don't want to be caught off guard with this. So I feel like maybe you just got home, you just got your pajamas on, and you're about to sit down and watch some tarot readings on YouTube, right? Suddenly there's this opportunity that just says, we've got to take advantage of this right now. This is the next thing. This is it. This is the path forward. This is the call to adventure, the call to action. And, I think you're willing to take this opportunity. This is your decision, obviously. But if we go up here, we kind of say, no, I'm not going to do that because, well, I'm just a failure. I'm not going to be able to do it. Or we go down here with the Knight of Wands and we say, heck yeah, I'm there. I'm already fire and earth. I'm ready to create. I'm ready to manifest this. Okay, and I believe it's something that might be financial, but this is also kind of a spiritual awareness, I think, for you, especially with that Nine of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles. But let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and it's going to go right over here. Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. Okay. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. We're going to talk about the path of the serpent now. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free, doesn't cost anything, and it's very helpful to the channel, and I appreciate that. The last few months, there's been a bit of a dip in the channel, and we're trying to bring that back up and really get this train moving faster again, and I really appreciate everybody who supports the channel, who offers advice or guidance or just watches the readings. If you're hearing this right now, I love you, and I thank you very much. General energy. Of course, we got double Aries here, right? So there's either Aries is perhaps a very significant sign in your astrological chart. If you don't know all of your astrological placements, and if you never looked at your chart really, there's a link in my video description where you can do that. I can't remember the name of it's like astro.com or something like that. It's in my video description where you can, for free, you can just plug in your information, it'll show you your chart. But I would bet that you have some significant Aries in there somewhere. You either have some major planets in there, or there's something going on with Aries for you, yeah. Because I think that you're very much in this independent kind of energy right now, and maybe you got a big family or a lot of friends, I don't know. But you're very self-directed, and you're very much, you're very in control of your life and of your energies. And I think there's no problem with you activating this Aries energy and kind of overriding all of those negative thoughts that we have, that kind of negative internal dialogue, and taking action. And this might be really part of this spiritual evolution for you. See, all of my readings, I feel like there's a lot of levels for some reason, right? I don't plan them that way. But I feel like this is a very practical thing. We got that earth energy. I feel like you're making progress. This is something new, like a money thing or some kind of maybe financial freedom. But this is also something that's teaching you about yourself in that spiritual way. And it could be that you're learning how to invoke your emperor rather than, well, this kind of, cruelty to ourselves, or even just talking ourselves out of taking this opportunity, right? And I've been in a place like this. I've been in situations where, somebody has asked me to participate in something or to do something that was, oh wow, like once in a lifetime opportunity, but then I don't believe in myself. I don't feel like I've got what it takes. I'm nervous, I'm awkward, I'm uncomfortable. I don't think that I'm going to be able to do it, and all of these things that start going through our heads. The emperor is really just, maybe listening to that monologue and saying, okay, enough, stop talking, brain. We're just going to do it. I've made a decision. And the emperor is that spiritual, willful part of you that has the right to overrule or veto your thinking and your feeling, right? And this, I think, needs to be directed by spirit, and that's why this is a major arcana card. And I think this is part of what you're learning about yourself right now, is that you have this ability. Even if your mind is telling you something else, you have this ability to take the initiative and just say, okay, I hear you, mind, but we're not going that way. Which way are you going? a 10 of swords. 10 of swords in the environment. We got a 9, we got a 10. This might be really actually a good thing. Because this might be the breakthrough. This is a card called Ruin. This is the sword's energy that's gotten to the very extreme of its path, and there's just nowhere else for it to go. So all this, these are all the swords that get recycled, right, to forge the Iron Throne, you know. So I feel like this is good. I feel like this is a real breakthrough for you spiritually, in that we're done with that old model. We're out of this pattern, right? We're out of maybe the cage. Maybe this is that cage of our own mind. And this is us recognizing the cage and getting out of that, okay? In that very spiritual, internal way. Externally, I feel like this is an opportunity related to, of course, the major arcana and this very practical external thing that is happening for you. It's a way for you to get out of this cycle, I think, of difficulty and then a recovery. Something's broken, I fix it. Something's broken, I fix it. It breaks down again, I fix it again. I fix it again and again and again. We're getting out of that pattern of behavior, that pattern of living. So to me, the ace really is that kind of leveling up. It really is that card that says, this is a game changer for you. This is either financial freedom, or this is something that's going to get us out of that previous cycle, that previous pattern that we've been in. Right? Related to that 7 of Pentacles, whatever that is for you, health or wealth, fitness, finances, whatever. Okay? So I think it's a very, very good card. We're getting out of our own heads. We're getting out of this bird cage. So I think there is this freedom here, because the 10 of Swords, always that bird cage card for me. Getting out of that, we can spread our wings. There's freedom, right? Maybe financially, maybe in terms of some sort of a well-being or a wellness issue for you. Okay? Next card, the obstacle, the sun. The sun's not really the obstacle here. This might be the fear or the worry or the concern. It might be, in this case, a lot of fire, this Mars energy here, even here the sun in Gemini. Now, I like that with, just as a side comment, I like with the Swords cards that this is Mars in Gemini. This is the sun in Gemini. So this is that kind of internal, just like aggression and that internal animosity, and really that kind of just that rage and that cruelty and that very martial energy. And then this is the kind of clarity of the sun that just says, I see this for what it is, and I'm able to just calmly move beyond it. Okay. It could be also, you know, there could be something going on with a relationship. Maybe Aries is maybe you know someone who's an Aries that you have a very contentious relationship with, and this might really be us seeing it for what it is and moving beyond it. Maybe even not Aries, it might even be Gemini, because we got a lot of Gemini here. But the Sun card in the position of the fear, the worry, or the concern, you know, I don't know. I'm trying my hardest here, except for maybe the this kind of ego inflation that we might see with the Emperor, and this kind of leveling up where we then think we are infallible, right? The Sun card is a very proud, very successful. This is health and wealth, right? The Sun card. I mean, it is just, it's gold. It's spiritual gold and literal gold. This is a card that could make us a little greedy. This is a card that can make us feel invincible, feel that we just have all this power, and you know, and it might kind of usurp our better judgment, right? So you think of somebody who gets out of that bird cage, and they're finally free, and they just feel that they can fly, do whatever they want. It's like Icarus, right, flying a little bit too close to the sun. We have to be very aware of our capabilities and what we're doing, and we have to keep a rational mind about us. I also wonder if this card is kind of showing that maybe this fiery doorway, maybe what's on the other side of this for you, and if it is this kind of freedom, spiritual freedom, mental freedom, financial freedom, I wonder if it's maybe too much all at once, right? Because this feel like this is gonna This is really going to shock you. This is like coming out of a very dark room. Suddenly it's high noon and you're just hit with all this light. We don't really have time for our eyes to adjust. And, you know, we've all experienced that, right? When you first go outside from a dark place, it's really, really bright until our rods and cones and things do their work and our pupils have a chance to constrict a little bit. So it could be that this really does come to as a shock to you, that this is just everything all at once. And you know how we can be shocked by good things? You know, like somebody that just wins $1 million, it's just like, they almost don't want it because I don't know even how to respond. You know, I can't even formulate a sentence. If you don't believe me, send me $1 million. So anyway, I feel like this is really that really awesome success. This is that really, really big gold, right? And it comes kind of as a shock that really, I think I think we're going to be okay. But it's something we have to be aware of. Let's look at what the next card's going to be. Maybe this will help us. Yeah, see, it brings us back into that air energy. Now we've got Jupiter in Gemini. A lot of Gemini energy in your reading today, Libra. First, we started with that very cruel, very aggressive, very warlike, thought process, or that very warlike communication, whether with others or with ourselves. Then we've got that Sun card. We've got that enlightenment. We know about that relationship now. Now we could see it exactly for what it is, either with ourselves or with other people. And then, of course, now we've got that Jupiter in Gemini, which is kind of the expansion of the thinking apparatus again. It's kind of like we got out of the birdcage, but then here we are kind of constructing another one. It's like we flew out of the birdcage into a spider's web or something, you know? I kind of feel like the Nine of Swords is kind of the intellectual attitude toward this work, whatever this is for you, that we've been serious. We've just been really severe and really focused and really serious about it. And now there's this kind of freedom, and now it's just kind of, there's a certain ease about things, you know, that there is now, we don't have to apply this much martial energy to what we're doing. We don't have to apply this much force, right? So Mars gets to go take a nap, and the Sun can come out and just, you know, very, very easily sustain this. But then Jupiter comes out and says, well, if a little is good, let's do even more. And so to me, this is like we're starting to overthink things. And like I said with the Sun, if this comes as a bit of a shock or a surprise to you, even though this is very, very good news, we might start to have just our thoughts are going to run wild again. And before we know it, well, we're back to a 9, 8, 9, and we got to go back to the 10, okay? So this is that kind of warning card where it says we're starting to overthink things a little bit. Even though this is, I think, really the best news that we've had, we still have a tendency to overthink it, maybe even overthinking, do I even deserve this? Or what am I going to do with this? Or, you know, this is really such a heavy burden now, or whatever it is, you know. Any bird that is suddenly let out of the cage might experience a little bit of, you know, fear, trepidation, hesitation, nervousness, right? Because suddenly there's all these possibilities. Suddenly there's this wide open space, right? So we might be finding excuses or something to dial things back down. Again, that sunlight, when we walk outside, it's super bright. You know, maybe we need a little bit of moonlight to kind of get us used to the sun a little bit, just to give us a chance to adjust. So let's look at the mystery card. I think this is a very interesting reading because I feel like this is a critical alert. I think this news is the best news, but then we kind of see this, you know, it's almost like this is the best news, but maybe it's coming at the wrong time, you know. But the mystery card, what do we think that's going to be? Well, I kind of am expecting either Gemini or some sort of lunar energy, Okay. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. A 9 of Wands. Okay. The 9 of Wands is in a way that we're kind of using this 9 of Swords to make us work harder, you know? And I feel like that's not always what we want to do. But I feel like maybe it's been working for you. See, the 9 of Swords is a lot of this very self-critical energy, and maybe it's motivating us, as it can, to work harder. And, you know, so we are really we keep pushing ourselves and pushing ourselves and pushing ourselves. There's a secret in this card, though, because this is the 9 of Wands, at least in the Thoth deck. I don't know if I can maybe find it in the Thoth deck. But this is a, yeah, you know what, let's find it. Because this is a card that does connect with the moon energy. And I said it was going to be some lunar energy, and indeed I feel like it was. There it is. The 9 of Wands in the Thoth deck shows the sun and the moon connected. Okay, and so I feel like this is a kind of gradual adjusting to this new way of doing things, rather than almost punishing ourselves here by, you know, you failed, you work harder, you know, and having this kind of negative relationship with the work that you're doing or whatever's going on with you. But this shows a different way. This shows us connecting with that lunar energy, that spiritual energy, that psychic internal. You know, we said especially that this reading is kind of an external, practical reading and an internal, more spiritual reading. And I think that this card confirms that and connects both of those together. That we can get out of this cycle of our thoughts and our efforts and this sort of thing. And we can also get out of this cycle of always just kind of trying to get ourselves out of the hole. And then we get out of the hole again. And then we got to get out of the hole again, you know. And so I feel like this is really a very important reading for you. We are going to do an extended one if you want to stick around. Link up top, link down below. New readings for Libra are every Wednesday and Saturday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free, doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment for me and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.